should do a podcast about.
I didn't understand a single thing you just said.
That was me doing a terrible parody of Misfits' Hybrid Moments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, terrible parody. And with that being said, I'm Matt, and welcome to the Punk Rock Horror Podcast, episode number 24.
I'm Cody. Yay.
Yay! So first off, we want to give a huge apology to our listeners for our Monday episode. We definitely feel like we did not bring the right amount of energy that we always bring to it. So sorry everyone. We hope you still enjoyed it. We really do. We did put our best effort in, but we still feel like we owe you kind of an apology in that aspect.
Hangovers are awesome.
Hangovers are the best. That's why we love them so much. That's a lie. I'm singing because
He's masking his hurtness on the inside.
There you go. Masking the hurt on the inside.
Oh, on the inside.
On the inside looking out. I see you through the looking glass.
No.
Wondering how much time's passed.
Are you okay?
Sorry.
Are you done now?
All right. I got a monster in me. I'm good to go. Some a little congested, but hey, we're going to get through this, man.
We can do it. So, Matt, what's something you love and something you hate?
So.
That's great. Sorry, I wanted to make a rhyme, so.
All right. Jesus. So one thing I'm going to talk about that I love first this time is that last week I went into, and I actually went to the Rockies game with my folks. And that was actually just a lot of fun. Like, I'm not the biggest sports fan in the world, but I do actually enjoy going to an actual baseball game and just being in that atmosphere, because it really is the atmosphere that I love about it. And it was just nice to actually spend time with my parents, like, because I actually get along with them, and you know, there's not many people in this world I do get along with. But the Rockies did really good. They had like 3 home runs in a row. Struck out once, and then came back again with another home run. They beat the Mets 10-8. So it was actually a really good game, and I had a lot of fun. There was an hour and 28-minute delay though, due to rain. So
all the rain.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really crazy happened there. It was just like, it's just something simple. Like, I enjoyed being able to walk away from the chaos of everything and just be able to go do something nice and simple and just go to a Rockies game. And stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not a big sports fan, but I do enjoy going to baseball and just being in that environment. It's just fun. Sports ball. Anyways, the thing that I hate, which I don't know how controversial this is going to be or not. So going back to last week on our Monday episode, where we talked about NoFX getting in trouble.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you saw this, but they actually got banned from like all U.S. shows.
What?
Yeah, I think they got banned from all the U.S. shows for the Punk and Drub. Like, it's either that or just venues. I can't remember with that specificness, but they're just like, basically, I think it was like Fat Mike. Again, don't call me on this. I glanced at the article, read it over really quick, but he was like, fuck this. Like, I can't believe we're banned from our own country. Which, I'm going to agree, it's kind of fucking stupid that they got banned for it. Look, here's the thing, is that they came out with an apology. They said they were sorry. They said it was a fucked up joke. You know, and then, like, they shouldn't have said it. And they said they were sorry. They were full-on heartfelt saying they were sorry for it. And, it was a bad joke. Whatever. It happens. And I understand, like, unless you're in that culture, unless you understand punk rock, you're not going to understand those kind of jokes and that kind of humor. And I understand, like, it's offensive to the, you know, families of the victims and survivors. But but to go as far as to ban them, I think is a little much.
Yeah,
I think
seriously.
I mean, because at the end of the day, they just said a bad joke that did not land well. That's purely what it is.
I know, it's not like Rammstein simulating butt sex on stage and jizzing all over the crowd.
Well, and here's my other thing. It's like, let's say it was Kenny Chesney, you know, who made a joke like that.
Yeah.
Or let's put that in the spotlight. Or fucking
Toby Keith, he makes jokes about Mexicans all
or
the time.
shit, let's even say like Taylor Swift made a joke like that. If she came out with an apology, she would still be allowed to do shows.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly feel that way. I mean, there's probably still some venues that would say, like, no, we're not going to host her. But because she makes so much money that there's no way they would not let her, do a show there.
Yeah.
And that's not the point I'm making, is that it's a whole money thing, is that I feel it's a hypocrisy in that aspect. It's because, like, going back to kind of like way back when Obama was in presidency, like Ted Nugent was on stage fucking like saying like, come take my guns, and like saying these really, really ignorant, heinous shit on stage in front of a whole crowd. And yet, like, as far as I know, he never got banned from any shows. I never followed up with that story, but it's just fucking a little bit too far to ban NoFX from, like, playing their shows. Like, the fans forgave him, it's not like they fucking, like, it's not like Fat Mike was caught sexually assaulting someone,
Yeah, but they won't get banned if he did that.
Yeah, but do you get what I'm saying, though?
Yeah. No,
like,
I know.
it was a dumb joke they made. They said they were sorry, and now it's like, I understand, like, you got to be careful with the words you choose. You could get, you got to pay for the consequences, and like, they paid for it. Like, they stood out dropped out of a couple shows, and didn't, play a couple shows out of respect. Like, okay, we'll get out of our own tour, but to be banned, like, that's just like, I don't know. I feel like that takes a little too far, and I feel like that's unnecessary.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree with that, because it's like one of those things. I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, they didn't really do anything that bad.
Well, look at it. Okay, no, what's a good
it.
example? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's just making me angry because, like, look at Kanye West.
Oh, yeah.
All the dumb shit he says on a regular basis. Fucking even, he called himself Jesus, and no one...
He said slavery was a choice.
And yet he still gets to do shows? He's not banned? What the fuck?
Yeah.
That is some giant horse shit.
I know.
That is fucking bullshit. Like, and NoFX, they were standing by Fat Mike, and they were playing nice, and they're like, okay, we'll be the bigger guys here, we'll say we're sorry. And they did, and everyone still, like, got their panties in a twist.
Yeah, well, another good example, fucking R. Kelly. He could literally pee on girls on camera.
And yet people still want to see him.
And fucking have them in, like, pretty much put 16-year-old women in sex dungeons.
Allegedly,
whatever. And, like, people are still, like, defending this guy. It's like, he literally pissed on little girls.
Yeah.
And you want to defend him?
Fucking, it's just such a hypocrisy. Like, it's just a dumb joke. They made a dumb fucking joke, and they said they were sorry. Yet, you're letting Kanye and fucking R. Kelly still go out and do shows all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
Like, fucking even, it just, like, and it just makes me angry, because it's like, even Tim Labasis, like, he got out of jail, and he's back in As I Lay Dying, and, like, he's like, I fucked up, like, I shouldn't have put that hit on my wife. Like, his wife forgave him, his kids forgave him and everything, and yet they're still going to be able to do shows. But fucking NoFX makes a bad joke, and they get banned. It's fucking hypocritical.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It's total bullshit, and it's just...
It's because As I Lay Dying is actually a Christian metal band.
I mean, I like As I Lay Dying. I do.
I do too. But
it's
I'm
just
just
like,
saying, it's because they're Christian.
It's just like, that's entirely separate thing. But
yeah, I know.
But the comparisons and the hypocrisy just drive me absolutely crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, NoFX doesn't deserve that.
No, not at all.
All right. Anyways, what do you love and hate, Cody?
I'm actually going to ask you if I can talk about this one, or if you think it might be too soon. His controversy about him.
I mean, it depends on what you want to say about it.
Like how everyone's like treating him like a saint, even though he's not. The shit he was doing before the event happened.
Oh man, I don't know.
That's what I mean. Like that's like the biggest thing I hate right now. But like,
fuck it, dude.
It kind of relates to your I hate thing.
Fuck it, dude. We're a punk rock horror podcast.
All right, so I'm gonna go with something I love first, because the thing I hate's a little controversial, but
yeah, it's gonna be a hot topic.
So the things I loved, like we said in the last episode, it was my birthday recently. I know I kind of mentioned it in that episode, but like I actually really loved going to every time I go to Denver, I never get a chance to go to the Mile High Comic Warehouse, and this is the first time I actually went to the mega warehouse that they have down there. And I got to spend my entire actual birthday with my girlfriend, the kiddo, and my mom, which was a lot of fun. Like, I haven't spent a whole lot of time with my mom lately, and it was really nice to spend time with her. And me and my girlfriend, the kiddo, went to the comic book store and I bought a bunch of comics, which is really nice for my birthday. Like because I haven't bought comic books in a while, and like I got to finish off some Punisher series that I wanted to finish off.
Yeah.
And then spent some time with my mom, and it was a lot of fun. She took us out for lunch. She got me a Switch, which I was super stoked about, because I haven't had a Nintendo system since the Wii. I didn't get the Wii U or the GameCube, so like it was kind of nice getting the Switch. Like I'm super stoked about that because there's some games that I've been wanting to play on there, like the new Legend of Zelda, Mario Odyssey, Bayonetta is what I'm really excited about playing too.
Looks like a fun game.
Yeah, just because Bayonetta 2 got so many good reviews and raves and stuff like that, but it sucked that it was just on a Nintendo console, especially because it was on a Wii U, which nobody wanted the Wii U. So
I mean, some people bought it.
I mean, it had potential. It was just like the marketing was really bad for it.
Yeah, because they didn't care enough to market it.
Yeah, I know. Everyone just thought it was just an add-on to the Wii.
Yeah.
So, but I'm super excited to play some of the games on the Switch that are gonna be coming out soon, like Smash Bros. I'm so excited to start up
all
that
the Smash
again.
Characters,
every single character. But what
this
I'm
is
really
now the point
excited
of the
about,
show where we nerd out.
Yeah, what I'm really excited about with the Smash Bros. Game is that like. So, me and a couple of my friends, what we used to do is we would do bet nights with Smash Bros.
Right.
And so we would put all the characters on, and then on their highest difficulty, and it'd just be calm. And then we would bet,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we'd bet like shots and stuff like that, or drinks, or we use a poker set, and so we use tokens, and each one was worth like either a shot or a drink of beer, or a mixed drink or something like that, and we bet those.
Oh man, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that. But yeah, and so like my whole birthday week was nice. I took 5 days off from work, which was really nice. I haven't had time off from actual work for a while, so it's just kind of like nice chill week for the most part. So that's one thing that I really loved, and thanks to all of my friends and family that sent me out birthday wishes and stuff like that. I feel really loved from all of that, and and so. All right, so the thing I hate, so it's a little. This is
gonna
kind
be
of
controversial
and stuff like that. I don't even know how to say his actual rapping name, but
I think they just call him X for short.
So XXX
Tentacion.
As many of you probably know, he was shot dead recently. And while that is sad, like no, I mean he was super young.
So, yeah, let's get that out of the way first.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it was it's not a tragedy. He was shot dead.
He died
very,
way
very
too young.
I mean, I personally didn't really ever care for his music, but I know a lot of my friends some of my friends liked his music and stuff like that. But this is the thing that I actually hate about it is the fact that like. It was the same aspect as what we were talking about, how everyone oversights fucking R. Kelly and Kanye West for the shit that they do. And, like, especially R. Kelly, like, I've seen posts about him, like, people are like, oh, well, this white guy can do this, but no one's going to defend R. Kelly and stuff like that. It's like, he literally peed on girls and stuff like that. And the thing that agitates me is that no one looks over the fact, like, everyone just brushes under their bridge and doesn't look at the fact that, like, this dude... XXX Tentacion or whatever. Tentacion. He beat his pregnant girlfriend, so bad that she went blind in one eye before he died. Like before, it was pretty recently before he was shot dead. So like and just in my opinion, I don't know if it was just like one bad night or whatever, but there's no excuse for people to be like, he was a saint and all this, and it's just like, yes, it's sad he died, but this dude like. That is not cool, and everyone's just looking over that. It's the same with the fucking NFL stars that beat their wives and their girlfriends get caught, and then, like, everyone's like, oh, well, she was probably mad at the novel, blah, blah, blah. It's like, this guy beat his girlfriend, and she's blind. She's permanently blind in an eye now.
Well, I think people try not to talk about it because it's now that he's passed on, it's kind of like the issues... now solved, but not in the way that it should have been.
Yeah,
it wasn't taken through the court system, and again, like I think what you're trying to get across is it's extremely sad that this guy died at such a young age in such a brutal way. That is sad. That goes without question, but he isn't a martyr, And that's what people are making him out to be, is a martyr.
Because I was seeing all these posts about him on my Facebook, and I was just like,
I mean, the dude,
I didn't really, like I said, I didn't really know a whole lot about him or anything, but then like
he had a really bad upbringing. I looked into little to it.
Yeah, so like I'm not saying like, you know, he probably, you know, like you said, he had a bad upbringing. He had a
bit rough.
And so like, and he was one of those like stars on the rise, which was kind of nice. You know, he was getting out of that lifestyle and stuff like that, but then people gloss over like the really horrible thing he did.
Right.
And so and it's just like when people gloss over those kind of things with anybody, whether they die or not, that's the thing that agitates me the most. Like I said, there's that football star who got caught on camera beating his girlfriend to unconsciousness and dragged her body out of the elevator. Nothing happened to him. I think he got a 3-day suspension, and that was it.
Yeah, they usually let NFL players go way more, which is why I'm not a big football fan.
So, like, my biggest thing is, like, I hate the fact that all these entertainers and stuff, like, just entertainment stars and, like, players and stuff, get all these breaks. Like, the only thing I have for the NFL is I truly believe that they should be able to kneel during the national anthem. Like, I think this whole controversy over that is the stupidest fucking thing in the world.
Well, I think you have a point. Like, let's say if it was just a regular dude who just, like, appeared on the news, you know, got caught, you know, beating his girlfriend. Girlfriend is now, you know, half part blind now.
Yeah.
And then everyone would see it on Facebook and just be like, wow, what a D-bag. And you find out, like,
what a piece of shit.
You find a day later that same D-bag died, and people will be like, oh, good for him.
Yeah.
But the difference here is that he was an artist and made music that people connected to. So that music that those people connected to would be like, he was a troubled guy, he shouldn't have done that. And so, like, I get what you're saying. Like, it's, like, because of that connection, they made a break. I guess taking it more to here, say, let's take it back to NoFX again. You know, if Fat Mike, came out where, like, Fat Mike beat his wife, did the same thing as X, then I'd have a different opinion about Fat Mike. I'd be like, that's solely fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, and then I would have to, like, figure out if I'm still going to support him, because, you know, I still have to support the band because the band isn't him. And then, like, that's the thing I would go through.
Yeah.
You know, and so but I think what you're trying to get at is, like, we need to still approach this and put him in the light that he needs to be in.
Yeah.
Like, he was an artist, and he had a terrible upbringing from what it looks like, but we should still be honest about the person he was.
Yeah.
He was a troubled person, and he did something that he shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
And now I think what's really sad is that his girlfriend isn't going to get that justice.
No.
She's not going to be able to take him to court. She's not going to be able to get, you know, any child support or anything like that. I mean, she might now that he's... that's a whole different thing. But anyways, sorry, I was going off on a weird tangent.
I was just like...
sorry, go ahead.
I was I'm just mostly going off of, like, I just think the fact that we hold all these entertainers at, like, such a higher
pedestal.
To this pedestal of, like, they literally can get away with murder. Like, and people know they killed, like, X didn't do it, but, like, you know, other famous people that have literally murdered someone or attempted to murder someone, and everyone's like, it's okay.
Chris Brown,
fucking Caitlyn Jenner,
OJ,
like, you know, countless basketball stars who have literally, like, beat their girlfriends, football stars, like, they can literally kill someone or, like, get
even
on the verge.
DMX.
Yeah, DMX, like, and other, like, artists and stuff like that, like, entertainers, just any type of entertainer, they can, like, get away with almost, like, basically murder and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean, shit, how long did it take before, like, with all these, like, sexual assaults and stuff like that to come out for them to finally catch up to these people?
Yeah.
Like, especially the ones that actually did it. Kevin Spacey.
Bill Cosby.
Weinstein.
Fucking...
what was his name? The guy from All in the Family? Not All in the Family. But the other, like, 90s, late 80s, early 90s sitcom dads. The guy who always said Jughead and stuff like that.
I
can't remember. Pretty much, like, he was a part of a huge, like, controversy, too, also. Like, funny thing about that one, though, is it's really funny is that the worst TV dad out of the bunch of them with the Cosby Show, that show, and Married with Children, Al Bundy turned out to be the better dad.
Yeah.
But like, I just think it's like sad that we put all these entertainers on pedestals to where it takes, like in Bill Cosby's case, 16 women to come out and say he did it for people to go.
That. It was like over 20, I think.
But like for all those women to come out and say, yeah, he did this, for everyone to go, I mean, I guess we'll look into it now. What the fuck? Like, it takes that many women and stuff like that? Fucking Big Ben Roethlisberger. Like, he fucking raped a woman and everyone was just like, meh.
Yeah, we should probably start getting ready to do it, but I will end it with what you're talking about. Makes me think of that joke from Dave Chappelle's special on Netflix, where he's talking about where like OJ came back and talked to him, and it just like OJ was like really nice to him and his friends like the entire time.
Because he's met him 3 times.
Yeah, man, it's like super cool. And then he's like, "All right, well, I gotta leave," and they just look at each other, just like, that motherfucker did it. That made me think of that joke. That story.
I love Chappelle.
That's a funny ass stand up. That guy's a genius.
I know.
All right. So you went first last time.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go ahead and jump to it this time. So everyone, we picked 2 movies. One that has more practical effects and one that has a lot more CG effects. I did the practical. Cody did CG. And the movie I chose, Cody, what are the main slashers that we've talked about on this podcast?
We've talked about Friday the 13th.
Yep.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
And a lot about Halloween.
Yep. And so, you know what's one that still doesn't get a lot of spotlight that we need to give it to, that I want to do a movie review on? Hellraiser.
No way.
Yeah, because we've even talked about Chucky, but Pinhead, I still feel like gets overlooked as a slasher. Like, I still feel like he gets really overlooked. And
just to go off of that, I think it's mostly because there's not as many Hellraiser movies.
There's actually a lot.
No, I know there's like a good amount, but like there wasn't like on the silver screen movies.
Yeah.
Even though you can definitely see the quality go down in Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, they still got the big budget like on-screen movies.
Yeah.
While Hellraiser, I think, only got like 3 on the screen. And then it went straight to DVD stuff. So I think that's one reason. But, like, he's such an iconic-looking character.
Yep. So I decided to take on Hellraiser and do a movie review on that. So I was originally going to do Dead Alive, but Dead Alive is extremely hard to find, and I was just having no luck looking for it.
That is a very hard movie to find.
Yeah, by the time... I can't even order it.
That's Brain Dead, right? Dead Alive, a.k.a. Brain Dead?
No, it's just Dead Alive, I think.
Oh, because I know there's one that uses a lot of practical effects.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the mutant rat that bites the grandma, right?
Are you talking about the one at the end where he has like the lawnmower?
Yeah.
I think that is Brain Dead.
Okay, yeah, it's Brain Dead / Dead Alive. Like, it has 2 names.
So,
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure if that is the same thing, but no, I couldn't, like, I even looked on Amazon and I couldn't order it or anything. Right?
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of, it's hard to find, like, and so that bummed me out a lot, because
it wasn't even that controversial of a movie.
Well, I don't know why, like, it's so hard, like, it's one of Peter Jackson's early works, and it's just, I couldn't find it. But anyway, so, on to Hellraiser, which came out in 1987, and it's directed by Clive Barker and written by Clive Barker, stars Andrew Robinson, Claire Higgins, and Ashley Lawrence. And the synopsis is, an unfaithful wife encounters the zombie of her dead lover. The demonic Cenobites are pursuing him after he escaped their sadomasochistic underworld. So, going forward, I wanted to bring a good practical effect horror movie, and I felt like this was right in my niche, like blood, guts, gore, and it does not hesitate to throw the gore at you. Because it doesn't it does it right away in the movie, where the movie opens up with this unnamed guy talking to this unnamed Asian fellow in a market somewhere in a country that's unnamed, and he buys this box from this guy, the Asian fellow, and scene goes to the guy who bought the box, and he's in this little like square like candle sitting down, like square candle like seance thing, and he's open up the box, and all of a sudden you see these like chains go to his skin and start ripping at his skin and just tearing him apart.
Yeah.
And then cuts to modern day. So it just does not hesitate to like get in your face with the gore, and that's what I really liked about it, because it's showing you what type of movie you're getting into.
Yeah.
It's showing you what you're getting to get ready for. And another thing that I really like this movie is that it's actually a really good premise, even for today. Like, for a horror film, this is a really good premise, because it's this dad and his lover move into this house that his brother used to have or was staying in, and the father doesn't know that his wife was cheating on him with his brother. Spoiler alert. It tells you pretty early on. It's not that big of a deal.
It's everything.
And so you're kind of just like looking at, why this has to do with the movie. And that's what I like about it, is that it's a good story that builds off, that leads into the Cenobites.
Yeah.
And so that's why I really like the premise, because I feel like the premise is even relevant for today. Even the daughter's like, I don't like your girlfriend. She's kind of a fucking bitch. So I like the premise a lot. And then like, actually I even made Lauren watch it with me. And so she's like, what's going on? I don't understand. And then when I explained it to her, she's like, yeah, whatever. And then she got invested. She's like, ooh, bitch. And then the effects of this movie overall are really good for how ambitious this movie is. Like, there is some parts where, like, early on you can see it's pretty bad, but it doesn't do enough to take away from the film. Like, there's just like a torn off face that you can tell is just a bad torn off face. Yeah, like it just wasn't really done too well. But other than that, it's actually really well. But anyways, they're in this house, and the wife, that the unfaithful wife, goes into the attic, and she starts having this like fantasy about Frank, and that's the husband's brother. And it was about like how her and Frank had sex behind the husband's back, and I'll get into that scene in a little bit later. But she's in this attic, and then all of a sudden, the husband comes up, and he accidentally cut his hand just moving a mattress on like a skewed nail. Yeah. And so he drips his blood on the floor. The floor sucks it up, and this is all in that room, the attic. And then you see Frank come back from the dead, and he's like dehydrated, gooey, and like that's where I'm talking about, where like the effects are really spectacular. Yeah. Because that's all practical effects. None of that is CG. And you just like see him just like, he doesn't have use of his legs, and he's just all emaciated, dehydrated corpse. And like, that's probably the scariest scene in a horror movie I've seen in a long time. Because you just see him come out of this dark corner and just like crawl on his forearms. He's like, ah! He's like, give me blood. And like, it's really well done. And so I really, really like that. And also, it doesn't really establish a main bad guy early on, where it's like, in slasher films, you normally see the horror monster, the slasher, or the bad guy early on, and kind of points fingers to, who it is. It doesn't really establish that, so it kind of keeps you up in the air. Like, is it the dad? Is it the girlfriend? It's more likely the girlfriend, but is it the dad? And that's what I really like about it. It's taking its time to get you invested in these characters. Also, so going a little more forward in the movie, with Kirsty, that's actually Lawrence, she's the daughter. So when she gets her first interaction with the box, which is what the Cenobites used as a portal to come through from their world to our world. Yeah. Her first interaction with the box is so well done, and it's so terrifying, because you just see her walk down this hallway, and it's just a dark, creepy hallway, horror movie, trope, kind of thing, and you see this giant like flesh scorpion come out of nowhere in the hallway.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, what the fuck is this?
And it just chased her down, and like, even for today, that's utterly terrifying to just like see down a dark hallway. Although I want to point out real quick with that scene that actually Lauren noticed, is that if you look at the bottom right, you can actually see the wheels of the machine that's pushing the monster. Yeah, so if you look at if you just pause that scene and you see the wide shot of the monster, the flesh scorpion. You'll see just the wheels at the bottom that it's pushing it along.
Huh.
Like, so I thought that was really cool. And then, but yeah, that's her first interaction with it, and it's so well done and it's so terrifying that I really love that scene. I think it's an iconic scene, and it deserves a lot of praise just because of how well it's done for its practical effects in that scene. And then going forward, when she finally has an interaction with Pinhead, and she's talking with him, and she's, bargaining with him to not take her life, she's crying, and he says one of the most iconic sayings in film ever, at least horror films, which he said, "No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering."
Yeah.
And the way he delivers it is so utterly terrifying and just so unsettling that I commend the acting for it. And excuse me, I'm so sorry. But I commend him for it because he does it so well, and he puts such an emphasis on it that it even shook me to my core. It really fucked me up. And just that kind of really close moment. And it takes a good acting in order to be able to pull that off. You know what I mean? Which I do want to give accolades to Doug Bradley, yeah. Because he's such a good actor as Pinhead, and he did such a good job that it's you can't not love his portrayal of Pinhead. Mm-hmm. So now I gotta obviously go on to my cons. This movie definitely takes its time to get the story going. And one part where really I feel like it drags on a lot is the fantasy scene where it's god damn it, what's her name? Sorry. Excuse me, everyone. I'm so into it now. Claire Higgins character, Julia. When Julia's up in the attic and she's having the fantasy scene where her and Frank are making love behind Larry's back. It takes like a good 10 minutes to get through that whole scene. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like it kind of drags on. Like we get the point. You guys fucking had sex behind Larry's back. We get it. And I don't think we need to see the whole scene. But I understand they were doing it to give you that atmosphere, to give you that feel of how much she lusts after Frank.
Yeah.
But you don't see the Cenobites for a long time. You don't see them till near the middle, close to the end of the movie, actually. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they don't appear a whole lot in the movie either. They're only there for 2 minutes every scene too.
Yeah, which I had trouble holding that as either a con or a pro. I end up making that a pro at the end of the day because it's the less you see of them, the more terrifying it is because you can't explain them. You don't know their world. You don't know what they come from. You don't know what made them to be in this movie, and and they could just appear out of nowhere. Yeah. And I think that's what makes them more terrifying. But the less you see them, and when you do see them, it makes it more terrifying. And that's what I more so lean that towards a pro. But anyways, so there's a scene where Julia first sees Frank coming back from the dead, and Julia's just standing at the top of the stairs, and Kirsty just comes out of the bathroom, and Julia's just there freaked out, just staring at Kirsty, and Kirsty's like, "How's it going, Julia? You doing all right?" It's just uh-huh. Just all freaked out. She's like, "Okay."
All right. Well.
And she doesn't mention that to her dad and be like, "Hey, I think Julia's fucking on LSD or something."
Yeah.
She doesn't mention it to her dad, and it's definitely a weird exchange, and there's already weird tension between Kirsty and Julia, so I figured that'd be a moment for Kirsty to be like, "Hey, I'm not trying to start some shit, but Julia's acting a little weird. You might want to talk to her."
Yeah.
So, that I kind of hold as a little bit of a con. Because then, I don't know, I felt like that could have avoided some certain scenarios that follow in the movie. And then also, there's a point where Kirsty has a bad dream. That Larry, her dad, got killed, or it was in an accident or something like that. And so she wakes up and calls Larry, her dad, and she's like, "Dad, are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine, blah, 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 blah." Yeah. And they hung up the phone, and then Julia's like, "Who was that?" And she's like, "Oh, it's just, she had a bad dream, it's all." "Who had a bad dream?" And I'm like, His fucking daughter. What do you mean, who? Like, do you think a telemarketer just called him and be like, hey, man, can I introduce you in this deal that this property that you can invest in? No, it's actually way too late for me. Oh, okay. But, hey, I had a really bad dream. Can I talk to you about it? Like, why would you ask? Like, do you think there's some random person calling people's numbers to tell them about their bad dreams? Like, of course it's fucking Kirsty, Julia. God damn it. It was just such a weird thing. She's like, who had a bad dream? Like, it's fucking... Yeah, and someone could make the excuse like, oh, well, what if it was his mother? Well, the mother's never introduced in this movie, so she doesn't exist.
Yeah, there is no mother. They just exist.
Exactly. And then also, so Frank needs blood to become human again.
Yeah.
So Julia goes around and seduces businessmen to come back to the house, take them back to the attic to kill them so Frank can suck on them and eat, get their blood and be rejuvenated. But Frank is kind of like a flesh walking around golem. Yeah. Like, he's just a giant fucking zombie, and he obviously emits a smell. And every time Julia brings a businessman up there, they just don't notice him. And I'm like, I feel like you would notice a 5'9", maybe 10, man made of pure flesh and bones just standing there.
No, it's a Halloween decoration.
Just, even then, like, oh yeah, we have the one Halloween decoration. We're a very modest family.
Yeah, it's so good. We only do the one.
Yeah, like.
Well, what about that smell? What smell?
We're really committed. Yeah. Like, I was just like, how does no one fucking notice the giant man made out of bones and flesh and blah? So anyways, and then that just kind of continues to go on because Frank seems to be invisible to fucking even, like, everyone besides Julia and Chrissy, because even when fucking Larry's up there and fucking everyone else goes up there, no one notices Frank.
Yeah.
Like, there's a scene where, like, Julia tries to keep Larry from going up in the attic by seducing him in their bed, and, like, Frank's in the same room with him, and you could see him scurry by as they lay down. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, shut the fuck up. Like, if I was being seduced, I'm pretty sure I would notice a giant flesh dude. Okay, well, not giant, but a man made out of just, like, inverted flesh run by me. Like, that'd be kind of hard not to see or smell. So I'm like, is he just fucking invisible to everyone? Like, it just, that kind of bothered me. And then, also, so the way Julia kills them, the businessman in this movie, is that she hits him over the head with a hammer. So, and they obviously go, ow, really loud. But apparently Kirsty's the only person that has ever heard a man die in that house. Uh-huh. Apparently there's been no joggers or passerbys that have heard men dying in that house. Like, apparently from the hours of, like, 11 to 12, just that entire block is just completely silent. Like, no one exists, and that just kind of bothered me that Kirsty was the only one that has noticed someone dying. And then there's a point where, so, like, Kirsty has the confrontation with Frank, and Frank's trying to, like, kill Kirsty, but Kirsty more or less gets pushed into that room by Julia from the other side, and then Julia just fucking disappears. Mm-hmm. Like, she's not in the attic, she's not in the rest of the house, she just disappears and Kirsty gets away. I was like, where did Julia go? Like, it's just on a smoke break? Like, what's going on? Like,
you know what? I need these few minutes to myself.
It's been a long month.
I need some me time.
Also, there's a point where Larry finally gets killed, and Frank puts on Larry's skin, and you can see the seams of, like, the goo and the gore from, like, where Frank put on Larry's skin. And when Kirsty's talking to her dad, she's like, Dad, are you okay? I'm like, how do you not notice the seams of his face that were just, like, put on terribly, like, not really well done? Like, do you not see that?
No.
Like, it's obviously not your dad, and he has brown eyes. Your dad had blue eyes. And then getting near to the end of it, there's this point where where Kirsty has the box and she's sealing it off to put all the she's putting it back together to trap all the Cenobites. And so she fixes one puzzle and puts Pinhead away and fixes another puzzle to get rid of the lady Cenobite. And then there's Butterball, which is the fat one.
Yeah.
I think it's Butterball. She doesn't fix a puzzle piece to put him away. All that happens is that part of the roof of the house falls on him. And that's it. And I was like, so his weakness is just a roof?
Yes.
Like, for another dimensional being, I didn't think it'd be that easy just to knock him out. Like, okay, because like all the other Cenobites got put away by just putting the puzzle together, you know, by putting certain pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah.
But for him, it just... it just, oh god, I'm dead. Oh.
Yeah, my worst enemy.
No,
Drywall.
But the ending of this movie is just, it's so weird. So when it ends, the house disappears and goes back into the world of the Cenobites, except for like certain pieces of furniture. Like there's just a chair and like some rubble that's just left in a fire, and it's lit on fire, and all of a sudden this like fucking bone demon comes out of nowhere, grabs the you know, fucking box and flies off. But the bone demon is disguised as a homeless man. Like, and he just flies off with the box, and it's just the weirdest fucking ending. Because there's like no explanation. I'm like, why didn't they take the chair? Did they not like the chair? Why is there a bone demon? What's going on here? Okay, I guess the movie's over. And there's like a couple like WTF things that I have in this, which I'm gonna see if we have time for real quick. Oh no, we're already at like the 41 mark.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pick at least two things. So when Christie's in the mental hospital, or I don't know if it's a mental hospital or regular hospital, the nurse is just watching like a TV show, but the TV show she's just watching is just flowers blooming. That's it. And I'm just like, why is the nurse just watching flowers bloom? Is there nothing else?
She needed something calming. I
guess so. And it's just fucking weird. Like, that bothered me for some reason. And then then there's also this part where like the Cenobite like guard dog, which is also the flesh scorpion, I just call it the Cenobite guard dog, tries to take the cube from Kirsty, and they're fighting over it. But it's more funny than terrifying because the dog doesn't have thumbs, so he's just like, just slapping the cube back and forth, and she's like, no, fuck you! And they just have like this slap fight over the cube. And it's just like, you dick!
You bitch, you hoe, you bitch, you hoe.
Yeah. And so that was pretty funny. But overall, like, besides the cons in this movie, like, this is actually a really great movie. And when you finally see Frank's final death in this movie, it is so well done and it's so well polished that it with its practical effects that it makes you unnerved, it makes you feel grossed out, but it's also really impressive because it's all practical effects. Like, it's all done by physical effects. Like, there's nothing CG about that part, and that's what I love about it, because there's so much care and attention to create this horrible death scene and all these gore effects, and, you know, Frank's reanimation throughout the whole movie. It's so well done and so well orchestrated that it's definitely, you know, impressive. And that's why I picked this movie, because I feel like it's a great staple for a movie that used practical effects. So a couple quick trivia facts, and then we'll move on to the next movie.
Thanks.
You're welcome. We're getting there. During a post-production party when filming had ended, Doug Bradley was dismayed to be ignored by the other members of the crew. He thought that he'd gotten on rather well with the cast and crew, and it wasn't until later that he realized that none of the crew had actually seen him without his makeup when playing Pinhead, and therefore did not recognize him. That's really funny.
Yeah.
And then another one is, Doug Bradley was originally offered a choice of roles between one of the mattress movers and the lead Cenobite. He originally thought it important that, as a new film actor, the audience should see his face, and nearly turned down the lead Cenobite role. Yeah. So, but now he's like a cemented like horror icon. So that's funny. Like, if he chose to be one of the mattress movers, like,
yeah. This is actually kind of a cool one. So the Chatter and Butterball Cenobites had dialogue in the original script, However, when their makeup made coherent speech impossible, their lines were given to the female Cenobite and especially Pinhead, which helped cement his reputation as the film's trademark character.
Oh, wow. I wonder if one of them actually was supposed to say that iconic quote then.
I could see that coming from the Butterball.
Wow. Yeah.
That one and "We'll Tear Your Soul Apart." Like, I could see Chatterbox saying that over.
Oh, yeah. Well, and, like, the Cenobites are so well done, and, like, their costumes are so well made. It's impressive. Like, when you really take a second to pause and step back and look at the creatures, like, all the care and attention that they made is really just... It's impressive.
Yeah.
That being said, go for it, Cody.
All right. So I had to look. Was trying to find a movie that
And we can go over a little.
Yeah. I would hope so because 10 minutes.
You gotta be a dick about
Thanks.
it.
So I was trying to find a horror movie, like a good horror movie that had a lot more primary CGI effects than practical. And so I decided to do, well, we both kind of decided on the movie for me because it was kind of hard to find one. But I decided to do Drag Me to Hell, which I think is definitely like one of those very underrated movies. Because, like, I remember when it came out, I loved this movie. And every time I always bring it up with people, like, they're like, oh, yeah, I love that movie. So, like, I feel like it's one that's kind of, like, everyone kind of knows about, but they somewhat forget about it. But, so Drag Me to Hell is a movie starring Alison Lohman, Justin Long, and Ruth Levier. A loan officer who evicts an old woman from her home finds herself the recipient of a supernatural curse. Desperate, she turns to a seer to try and save her soul while evil forces work to push her to a breaking point. It was directed by Sam Raimi, so everyone recognizes him from Evil Dead. And it was written by Sam Raimi and Ivan Raimi. Oh yeah, both the Raimi brothers. And then again, it stars Alison Lohman, Justin Long, and Ruth Levier. And so I remember seeing this movie way back when, and I loved this movie. Like, it was really, really good. And so, like, rewatching it, it was a treat. But I feel like with this movie, Sam Raimi did such a good job with using CG, because I feel like he was almost kind of like trying to prove a point with this one, where because he was really good with his Evil Dead movies using more practical effects, that he wanted to tackle a movie using a lot more CG. And it works really, really well. Like, all the CG in it still holds up today. And this movie came back out in 2009. And so, like, it was still kind of like not where CG was, like, amazing, but, like, it was still pretty decent. And, like, I think a lot of it holds up today. And so, like, the things that I liked about this movie is that the CG worked for it. And, like, Sam Raimi did such a good job with mashing up like jump scares and hardcore horror scenes with also like some of his like trademark campiness, like B-movie-esque scenes to like all put into a really, really good movie. And the thing that I also liked about it is that you feel bad for the main character. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm forgetting her name right now. But you kind of feel bad for her in the beginning at some points, because like one thing that I didn't like, but it made sense, was that she was like Alison Lohan. Yeah, Alison Lohan's character Christine. She's like this Southern Belle girl, and she's dating Justin Long's character Clay Dalton, and he's like a city boy, and so like his and he comes from like a rich family. He's a therapist, I believe. I can't remember exactly what he was, what his job was, but so like, and his family was always talking about like trying to set him up with this other girl in the beginning, and he's like, no, I'm with Christine, like, she's a good girlfriend and she's a wonderful woman and stuff like that, but they're saying like how she's like kind of sweet and innocent, and like they play all this off like in the fairly beginning, and so like all this whole entire movie could have been like, as if everyone was just a little bit nicer to her, this whole movie would have never happened.
The Gypsy or the Christine?
Christine.
Oh, okay.
If everyone was just a little nicer to Christine, like, none of this movie would have happened. Because the whole movie builds up to where, like, she's this super trusting and good-hearted character and stuff like that. And then And then like, but everyone just keeps shitting on her, like her boyfriend's parents, her boss, and then like she just had kind of a small breaking point to where like the
she's such a sweet girl.
Yeah, and then so when Lorna Raver's character, the gypsy Mrs. Ganush, shows up, she asked for an extension on her house loan because she's old. What?
Sorry, just like. Now it's like, it kind of takes a little to terror away because it's like, oh man, Christine got ganushed.
You just got jammed.
You just got ganushed.
No.
Sorry, everyone.
God.
I'm sorry, I had a reminder.
Whatever.
Had an alarm set.
Jeez.
I just got ganushed.
So, like, well, I'm going to go back to the very beginning of the movie. It was done really well to set up what's going to happen. So it shows, like, in Mexico, it shows this family, and it talks about this, their son. And so this seance lady is like, they're asking her to help. And she was like, well, what did he do? And he's like, he did nothing. He's such a good boy. And she's like, no, what did he do? And you find out he stole something from a gypsy. And so he had a curse put on him to where he'll go to hell after 3 days. And so like you see the seance lady, she's starting to try and do an exorcism on the little boy. And then this is another movie that I thought they did something that was a little out of the ordinary, is that it was a little boy who dies in the very beginning. Like, because he's only like 12, 13 maybe, like he's still like kind of young, and so then like it doesn't show him die, but like it shows this is where you see the CG come in and does really well. Is like you see he like falls off this thing, off this balcony, lands on the floor in the middle of this house, and you see the floor starting to break apart and stuff like that. And I feel like if they tried to use practical effects for that, there was no way would that like work and look good. And then you start seeing glimpses of hell and all these like demon hands coming up, and then it shows CG shadow of the boy being dragged to hell and stuff. And I thought that was done really, really well. And like you see the horror in everybody's face, and like the seance lady is like, we will meet again. And then it cuts to Christine. Yeah, then it cuts to Christine, and it shows how she's this nice, sweet, innocent girl, but everyone's kind of shitting on her because she's a sweet, innocent girl. And her boss is like, well, the head manager's position's still open. It's between you and the new guy. And you see the new guy, and you're just like, God, he looks like such a weasel. You hate him so much.
He's the new guy.
And so then Mrs. Ganush is sitting at Christine's desk, and she's asking for an extension. And Christine talks to her boss, and her boss was like, I mean, we can, but you got to make these hard decisions. Just know it's on you. And so she goes up to Mrs. Ganush, and she tells her, like, I'm sorry, we can't give you an extension. Like, we've given you several extensions on your loan. There's no way we can give it to you. And she's like, I am in the, it's an old lady. She's like, I have no way to pay this money. Can I just have like an extension? This house has been in my family for years. I've lived here all my life. And like Christine's like trying to like finally be firm, and she's like, I'm sorry, we can't do that. I have no choice. And then the old lady, and this was my biggest con of the movie, is actually in the very beginning. It's my biggest thing. It's this whole entire interaction, and it's like 15 minutes of me just being really pissed off with both characters. And so Mrs. Ganush is like, I beg you. I never begged for anything in my life. She gets on her knees and like starts kissing Christine's skirt, and she's like, I beg you, I beg you, I beg you. And like Christine's like, stop it. And she backs up, and Mrs. Ganush like falls on her face, and she gets super embarrassed. And she's like, you shamed me, I beg you, and you shamed me. And like I'm all thinking in my head, I'm like, bitch, you shamed yourself. Like, you could have just walked out with your head held high and just like accept what happened. Like, I understand it's a horrible thing, and you're hoping to get some pity because you're an old lady, but like, that's what happens, lady. And then she turns around and like goes to attack Christine. And like, and everyone's like, are you okay? Are you okay? And she's like, yes, I'm fine. Because security finally gets Mrs. Ganush out. And then it cuts to her walking into the parking lot. No security around her. Like, I understand, like, she's probably on this little high of like, I'm a mighty female. I'm my own woman. But if some crazy old lady attacked me, I understand she's an old lady. I would still, and I was Christine, I would have still been like, hey, Greg, can you walk me to my car after my shift?
Yeah.
Like, I would have asked the security, especially.
Even if they're old, a knife can still do damage.
Yeah, and also if they're old, then you could tell she's a gypsy and stuff like that just by the way she dresses. She knows people, so it's not like even if she wasn't gonna do it, she brings someone else to do it.
I mean, to be fair, how could you tell if someone's a gypsy?
Their accent, the way they dress, and everything. You have to label them. You're gonna have to be one of those people.
Gotta be racist to survive.
Pretty much. But anyway, so like I was just thinking to myself, because like of course the old lady ends up being in the parking lot where she's actually in her car, but at the same time it's like I'm thinking to myself, I was like, if I got attacked on my job and I had security, I'd probably ask one of my security guards to walk me to my car and make sure I got out home okay.
Well, and they're supposed to do that anyways.
Yeah, so like that was one thing that really pissed me off. And then
wait, in the movie, was security even like, oh, do you want us to go with you?
No, nothing. They're just like, are you okay, Christine? She's like, yeah, I'm okay. And then she's walking by herself to her car.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
great job, security.
Yep, good job.
Is there a deleted scene where security has that talk with her?
I don't know. I watched the unrated extended cut, and that still wasn't a thing. But anyway, so like, and then there's this, and so this entire scene is a big con, but it's also a big pro in my opinion because there's a lot of foreshadowing. So she gets in her car, and the old lady is actually in the back of her car, and she's like, "You shame me," and then starts to.
Sorry,
I know. It was like really funny because like
in the back.
Yeah, she just sits there and leans forward and goes, "You shamed me." So before Christine sees the old lady, like you see a CG effect. I thought like you could tell it's CG'd, but it kind of makes sense of like a handkerchief floating over the windshield. And so then she sees the old lady. And so this whole fight is actually an entire foreshadowing of all the curses that happen to Christine. Everything that happens in this fight happens to her again. So she's like getting in this fight with this old lady. And this fight's so comedic too because it's so over the top because the lady's like pulling her hair and like smashing her face in her car, and Christine gets like a stapler and like snake bites her face with it, and like snake bites her eyes shut, and like this.
It just like makes me think of that like fight between fucking Will Ferrell
and John C. Reilly.
From fucking Step Brothers. I don't know.
But like she snake bites her with the stapler, and like the old lady's like like. This old lady has some fucking stamina. Like, Jesus Christ. If I got snake bited and my eyes shut, I'd be like, you know what? Fuck it. This isn't worth it. Like, yeah. But no. And then, and so she starts, like, choking Christine. And then she slams on, Christine buckles herself in and then crashes her car into another van. And the old lady, like, jumps forward. Or she, like, ends up, like, flying forward into the front seat. Smashes her face and you see her dentures come out. And, like... And then she, like, somehow gets her, like, brain together, like, really fast, and then looks at Christine and goes to bite her, but she doesn't have her teeth, so she's just gumming her chin. And, like, you see Christine going, ow! Ow! Like, hearing this whole thing.
You know what? WWE should have capitalized on this and actually had, like, a spoof match between the two of them. You fucking just see, like, John Cena and fucking Randy Orton just, like, be tag team partners.
Yeah. But, like, so she, and then, and so the old, Mrs. Ganesh finally recognizes that she doesn't have her teeth in, so she puts her teeth in, they're all sharp. Christine kicks her out of the car, and this is where I get so pissed off with her, and she locks the door, and so the old lady's trying to get in the car, and Christine's like, ha ha ha, fuck you, bitch, and then the old lady disappears. In my head, I'd be like, I gotta go. Like, I'm leaving. No, fuck this. Like, I'd either start trying to drive away, or I'd try and run away. No, she just sits there and waits until the old lady comes back with a fucking cinder block and smashes her car window and drags her out.
To hell?
Nope. Just drags her out,
okay.
Takes a button, puts a curse on it, and gives it back to Christine. That's how that fight ends.
The whole scene is just like, you bitch! You bitch! Keeps out. Fuck you, bitch!
Yeah, like the entire time.
It just sounds so comedic the way you explain it.
Well, it's actually a pretty comedic like fight scene. Like it's just over the top.
Fuck you, bitch! And
then and so you find out that the gypsy curse is if you receive a gift from the gypsy with the curse, the only way to get rid of it is you have to pass it on. And I'll get to that here in a second. Some pros that I have, like I said, in the whole fight scene, like each part of this entire scene foreshadows something that happens after she's cursed. So there's a scene where she's like, where Christine is driving, and all of a sudden she sees the gypsy like flash forward, and then like the handkerchief slams onto the front windshield, so she's blinded and she can't drive. And so when she like slams into the car, the fucking handkerchief flies into the window and then it's down her throat, and so she's like pulling the handkerchief out. Yeah, and then like
she becomes a magician.
Yeah, pretty much. And so like each scare is like topped off with a little bit of comedy. Like there's this one scene where she's in a shack, and the old lady starts attacking her again, and she like fucking like punches the old lady in the throat, and her hand goes all the way down her neck, and so it's stuck in her throat. She's like, oh god, and the old lady's just like or no, sorry, the old lady does it to Christine. And so she's choking on, you just see the old lady going, hey, 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 as Christine's like choking on her like forearm. And then like the way Christine gets her to die is like this ghost to die, she like knocks over like a fucking anvil or something and just slams on her head and her eyes bulge out.
What is with this Looney Tunes shit?
I don't know, Sam Raimi, dude. And so like one thing that I like, one big con is actually Christine's character in general, because like after like having this big like gung-ho like I am a strong woman in the beginning, she starts going very meek throughout the whole movie again. Like I understand, like you're seeing demons and this dead old lady chasing you the entire time and stuff like that, and I could understand going meek, but like all of a sudden she just like goes super hardcore meek again. But like at the same time, like she's smart about it, because she start like the second some weird shit starts happening, she's like starting to research like what's going on, because she remembers the old lady saying shit to her button before she gave it back. And so that's one thing that I liked, is that she was actually smart about all this and like researched about this curse and like trying to get rid of it. One thing she starts trying to do sacrifices, like she sacrifices her kitten that Justin Long's character gives her. Like she kills a kitten thinking that'd be as a sacrifice to him, that would probably get rid of it. And then the CG for the demons that you see throughout, like there's this one scene where you see these shadows like chasing her throughout the whole thing, and you can see it's CG'd. Throughout the whole scene is done really, really well. Fuck, it's almost and so I thought that was really good. And then like all the CG you have with the demons is done really well. Like there's this seance scene, and like they're doing a seance, and the way to get rid of the demons, you have to have someone get possessed by the demon and transfer the possession to this goat, because goats are related to the demons and stuff like that. If everyone knows, like, you know, the picture image of Satan, he has goat hooves, and the goat horns and stuff, and so you have to transfer it to the goat, and then you have to kill the goat. And so this whole scene is like, it's so intense, but it's so fucking funny at the same time, because like he's possessed, so he possesses the seance lady from the very, very beginning, and the only way to transfer the demon's souls, you have to get whoever's possessed to touch another person, and that's how the demon possesses that person. Right. And so Christine gets her to touch the goat, and like she's and this is so fucking funny, because all of a sudden the goat gets all demonic faced. Like it goes from a regular goat, and then like it looks down, and it has like an evil demonic face, and it's like, you tricked me, you bitch. And like I lost my shit in that. It's so good. And so so the guy who's supposed to kill the goat misses the goat's head and cuts the rope off, and then the evil demon goat bites him, and so he's possessed by the demon. And so he like gets in and like he starts floating in the air. I know, and he's like floating in the air, and he's like doing this little like juck and jive dance in midair, and like this corny music plays in the background. You're just like,
it made me think of from Beetlejuice at the end.
Yeah, where like the chicks where Christina Ricci's dancing in the air, but like he's dancing, and then you're just thinking to like the entire time I was like, Sam Raimi, you cheeky little devil. And so then like, yeah, I laughed so hard at that part. And then like the possessed guy, like his face is definitely mixed up with like CG and practical effects, because like his teeth are all CG'd, but his evil face you can tell is like actual makeup. Right. And so he looks at it and he's like, I don't want your stupid cat, and he literally throws up a kitten. Like you just see a kitten just like halfway pop out his mouth, and you're like, oh Jesus. It's like, and he just spits it out.
Not okay.
And then so that was done really well. And so I really recommend like seeing this movie. My last con, it's kind of a spoiler. I mean, it's the ending of the movie, but like, it's the title gives away what's gonna happen in the end. But so like so she finds out how to get rid of the curse is that she has to pass the curse on as a gift. So she has to gift whatever the cursed item is. and then she has to give it to someone else. And so she decides that she's going to give the curse to the old lady. And so she's like, I'm going to pass the curse on back to her. And so she puts the envelope in this little the button in this envelope. In the very beginning of the movie, like here's some foreshadowing from the beginning of the movie. She gives Justin Long's character, he collects quarters.
Right.
So she gives him this quarter and he puts it in an envelope.
Sounds like a very Justin Long thing to do.
Mm-hmm. And so you find out that like the button she gives back to the old lady is actually the quarter. And so like that's the big twist in the end. And like in my head I'm just like, the biggest con about it, I'm like, if I was gonna pass on this cursed object so I could live, I'd double check.
Yeah.
I would have double checked to make sure I have the right thing.
With that?
So they're both in envelopes and they're the same size.
Why does he have a fucking quarter in an envelope?
I don't know, man. Like he puts it in an envelope in the very beginning of the movie. That's all I know. And so like
doing Justin Long things.
Yeah, so like that's the only thing that I'm like that was my second biggest con, because my biggest con is like how stupid she was in the beginning of the movie, where she couldn't like work something out, the old lady. She had to get like put her big girl shorts on, and then also the fact she couldn't just ask a security guard to take her to her car.
Right.
Is that like if I was gonna pass on, like I get it like time's short because she only had the curse takes 3 days to fully take into effect. At the same time, I would have double checked, like, okay, button. This is the button. I have the button, not a quarter. So,
Jesus.
So yeah, that was my other biggest thing. I don't want to ruin too many other things in there because there's a lot of foreshadowing in it, and I really recommend seeing this movie. Yeah, like especially if you like Sam Raimi movies, because this is like a lot of callbacks to Evil Dead, and just like especially with like the demons being a little like being super campy, like the whole like demon goat going bitch and stuff. So a couple fun facts about it. On the way to the cemetery, Christine says, "I'm going to get some," which is a reference to Ash's line, "Come get some," in the Evil Dead series. See? And so what's really cool about this one is the script was written after Sam Raimi and Ivan Raimi completed Army of Darkness in 1992.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this movie's been written and everything since 1992. But Sam pursued other projects before he returned to this one, when he was doing the Spider-Man movies and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then Sam Raimi's friend, Bruce Campbell, who appeared in some fashion in every other film Raimi directed, turned down a role because he was too busy with his TV show Burn Notice. That's a little sad.
I mean, it did do really well.
I know. But still, it's like, aw.
Also, apparently, Alison Loham did almost all of her own stunts.
Oh, nice. Damn, she took some big bumps in this movie, too. She did. There's like this one scene, she gets tossed through a dresser and like shit like that.
Wow.
But
nuts.
One thing I'm going to go off about this movie, too, is that the CG is done so well. Like, Sam and Ivan Raimi are like really, really good with making the CG. You can tell it's CG'd, but it fits and it works. And so, like, I highly recommend this movie if you've never seen it. It's a really good, like, B-movie-esque callback to, like, all those kind of, like, horror movies. And my favorite thing about this movie is that it's technically not a happy ending, which I think is awesome because everything doesn't need a happy ending. Call back to way, way, way back from on our episodes.
Right. Doesn't have to be.
No.
Sometimes works for it.
It does. And I really think, like, this ending worked for it. Like, yeah. I think if it had the happy ending, it would kind of been like, eh. But the fact that it ended the way it did is, like, makes it so much better.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I definitely agree.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's Drag Me to Hell in a nutshell from my perspective. I didn't want to give away too many of the scenes in it because, like, it really is one of those movies you kind of have to see, like, the campiness and the, like, just, like, wizardry that Sam Raimi is with his films.
Well, he's a legend, and you need to see his work to believe it.
Oh, I know. Like, he does such a good job in this movie.
So then I think we're pretty much at the end here.
Yep. Yeah. We've gone a
before we end, I do want to say that I love our listeners. We had someone on our Twitter who goes by, I think it's OG Punk, reach out to us and ask our opinion on the movie Hereditary. And, like, yeah, it was OG Punk at OG Punk Girl. And, like, that was, like, really, I don't know, it was, like, really humbling. The fact that our listeners want our opinion on current horror movies.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of like, it's like an ego boost in a way, because it's like kind of a sign that we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Which a lot of times we feel like we have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's really humbling. So we haven't seen it yet. We're planning to. It's just life's chaos right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we love hearing from you guys, and thank you to, OG Punk and everyone who reaches out to us and sends love our way and wants our opinion on movies. Thank you. It means a lot to us. With that being said, I think we need to go ahead and wrap this up. As always, if you want to stay up to date with what's going on with us, and you want to participate in our Monday listener participation corner, please follow us on Facebook, Punk Rock Horror Podcast, and on our Twitter at officialphp.
And our Instagram, Punk Rock Horror Podcast, hashtag PHP Podcast.
If you have any strange stories, or you're a band that wants to come on for our band episodes, our band showcase episodes, please send us your info and stories at punkrockhorrorpodcast@gmail.com. And if you like what we're doing and want to support us, please consider going over to our Patreon in the episode notes. We have that link there. With that being said, thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, listeners, for being the best listeners in the whole entire world. And we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Podcast over.
Podcast over.